Penelope Beckles Fearmongering exposes PNM's intellectual bankruptcy, an editorial by Professor Wall Street. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles' hysterical response to the Constitution Amendment Bill represents more than just political opposition. It epitomizes the intellectual bankruptcy that has consumed the People's National Movement after nearly a decade of failed governance from 2015 to 2025. Having presided over unprecedented economic decline, soaring crime rates, and social deterioration, the PNM now resorts to its most desperate playbook, manufacturing fear where none should exist. Beckles' frantic claims that diaspora citizenship provisions represent voter padding reveal a leader so divorced from global realities that she views progress as conspiracy. This is not principled opposition. It is political cowardice masquerading as patriotism, peddled by a party that squandered 10 years in power and now fears being permanently relegated to irrelevance. Here are 10 reasons why there are fatal flaws in Beckles' desperate narrative. 1. Diaspora engagement is global norm. From Ireland's dual citizenship success to India's Overseas Citizenship of India program, nations worldwide have embraced diaspora engagement as an economic and cultural imperative. Countries like Portugal, Italy, and Israel have thrived by reconnecting with their global communities. Beckles' suggestion that Trinidad and Tobago would somehow collapse under such proven models reveals her profound ignorance of international best practices. 2. Sports development benefits dismissed. The Trinidad and Tobago Football Association has explicitly endorsed this legislation, recognizing its potential to strengthen national teams through expanded talent pools. Beckles' cavalier dismissal of sporting benefits demonstrates her disconnect from the aspirations of young athletes and the unifying power of sport in national development. 3. Economic contributions willfully ignored. Citizens by descent contribute billions in remittances, bring advanced skills, and drive foreign direct investment. The PNM's myopic focus on imaginary electoral threats blinds them to tangible economic benefits that could transform the nation's financial landscape. 4. Zero evidence of electoral abuse. Despite inflammatory rhetoric about clauses 4B and 4C, Beckles presents no credible evidence of potential electoral manipulation. Her arguments rest entirely on speculation and paranoid conjecture, the hallmarks of a desperate opposition with no substantive policy alternatives. 5. Staggering PNM hypocrisy. For nearly a decade in power, the PNM had every opportunity to reform citizenship laws, but chose inaction over innovation. Their current opposition stems not from principle, but from petty political calculation, opposing progress simply because it originates from their political rivals. 6. Leadership vacuum exposed. Beckles' reliance on tired talking points, while offering no constructive alternatives, exposes the leadership vacuum within PNM ranks. Even her own parliamentary colleagues provide no substantive policy framework, revealing a party intellectually exhausted and creatively bankrupt. 7. Fear trumps vision. While the UNC, led by the Honorable Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, presents bold, forward-thinking initiatives aligned with global trends, Beckles retreats into the comfortable embrace of status quo mediocrity. Her fear-based approach represents everything wrong with Trinidad and Tobago's political discourse, choosing paranoia over progress. 8. Selective historical amnesia. Under PNM governance, tens of thousands of migrants entered Trinidad and Tobago through poorly managed processes that Beckles never questioned. Her sudden concern for immigration protocols rings hollow
given her party's disastrous record on border management and population policy.
9. Democratic institutions under attack. Ironically, Beckles undermines the very democratic institutions she claims to protect by spreading unsubstantiated allegations of electoral fraud. Her reckless rhetoric erodes public confidence in the Elections and Boundaries Commission and threatens democratic stability. 10. Smokescreen politics at its worst. This entire controversy serves as calculated misdirection from the PNM's catastrophic governance record. While unemployment reaches historic heights, poverty deepens across communities, and violent crime terrorizes citizens, Beckles focuses on manufactured controversies rather than real solutions. The deeper truth, a party in terminal decline. Beckles' desperate fearmongering reveals more than poor political judgment. It exposes a party in terminal intellectual decline. The PNM once produced visionary leaders who built modern Trinidad and Tobago. Today it offers only hollow rhetoric from politicians who mistake volume for vision and controversy for competence. The Diaspora Citizenship Initiative represents exactly the kind of innovative thinking Trinidad and Tobago desperately needs. It acknowledges that in an interconnected world, nations succeed by embracing their global communities, not by retreating into xenophobic isolation. Countries that have implemented similar programs have seen increased investment, enhanced cultural exchange, and stronger international networks, precisely what Trinidad and Tobago needs to escape its current economic malaise. Beckles' response demonstrates why the PNM remains trapped in 20th century thinking while the world advances into the 21st. Her inability to see beyond narrow electoral calculations to embrace transformative policy reflects a party that has lost not just political relevance, but intellectual credibility.
In conclusion, the choice before Trinidad and Tobago.
The stark contrast could not be clearer. On one side stands a UNC government led by the Honorable Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, proposing innovative solutions aligned with global best practices, backed by concrete evidence from successful international examples, and endorsed by relevant stakeholders like the TTFA. On the other side stands a PNM opposition led by a figure so intellectually bankrupt that she can only respond to progress with paranoia. Penelope Beckles' latest outburst is not political opposition, it is political obituary. It confirms what growing numbers of citizens already recognize. The PNM has exhausted its intellectual capital, abandoned its founding principles, and evolved into a vehicle for fear-based politics divorced from reality. Trinidad and Tobago stands at a crossroads. The nation can embrace the forward-thinking leadership led by the Honorable Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar that views diaspora engagement as an opportunity for national renewal. Or it can follow Beckles down the rabbit hole of manufactured controversy and deliberate division. The choice will define not just the next election, but the next generation. The people of Trinidad and Tobago deserve leaders like the Honorable Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar who see possibilities where others see problems, who embrace innovation where others cling to stagnation, and who offer hope where others peddle fear. Beckles' fear-mongering has inadvertently provided the nation with perfect clarity about which path leads to progress and which leads to further decline. In the end, Penelope Beckles may have done the country an unintended service by demonstrating so vividly why the PNM's time has passed and why Trinidad and Tobago's future lies with those bold enough to embrace it.